guess we saw Giannis do a little bit of individual work. Was he able to kind of ramp up into full?
Yeah, he did more stuff today. We didn't do any live full, but he did all the full stuff. Skeleton. He did a lot today. And then after practice, we kind of scheduled the one-on-one stuff, and then we'll graduate to the 3-on-3. You know how that whole thing goes.
So that sounds like tomorrow not in the cards yet for him to like gameplay or anything.
No, but I thought we had already said that. So he's gone. Yeah, for the first. He wants to play the last two. I don't know if I'm even on board with that one myself, but he said that's what he wants to do. So we'll see.
You've been doing it 2 years now. Just how hard is it to remind you? It's like, all right, slow down. I know you.
Yeah, it does, especially today, because if you were a basketball player today, it was a practice you wanted to be in. It was a lot of like what we call controlled scrimmaging. Everything was competitive, and you can see him itching. Standing closer, like standing closer to the floor, and But he's been okay so far. I just don't want him to just jump in. We had a long season, so.
Yesterday, ESPN came out with a report about
another one. It's unbelievable.
how do you deal with it?
I don't. I mean, I really don't. I mean, what are you supposed to say? Like, I don't know how many more times. I've been coaching, and how many years I've been coaching? 26, 27 years. And one thing that I know is 30 teams call 30 teams. All right. Hey, would you like to trade Chris Paul? And you say no. That does not constitute a conversation. All right. I read where it said several conversations. Well, that never happened. And it was a conversation where a team called, and John has been saying no now for 11 years. I don't know why this is a new story, but I guess it is. Yeah.
Dealing with a locker room, like everyone has phones, right?
Yeah.
Social media, they see.
Yeah.
Like, how as a coach do you try to just remind them, hey guys?
I don't have to. Giannis does that. Everything Giannis says is about the team and about being a better team. So I don't have to do that. Every part of Giannis says that. If you read his comments this summer, every comment he's made is about being in Milwaukee, loving the city. But for some reason, and it's funny, it's what's the old saying? You report a story, and then you create the story, then you report on the story you created. And that's what it feels like. And it gets old for us. But at the end of the day, there's nothing we can do about it. But I can tell you, John has never called a team about Giannis. That has never happened. And until that happens, you really don't have a story.
Going back to the practice, was everyone?
Thank you.
Was everyone else able to go?
Everyone, when they was gone, Scoot got pulled out. I'm not sure what it was. So whenever someone leaves practice, I'm concerned. Scott gave me a thumbs up, so I don't know what the hell that actually means, but I'm going to assume that he's okay.
With Ryan, you saw him get a bunch of deflections in that.
He's been awesome, yeah.
How much of that with him is like natural instincts, or how much has he learned?
Well, Giannis made a good point. We're just talking. We were talking. I said, "What did you see?" He said, "One thing I saw was no one has to help." And he's like, "Is no one help?" Like the reason we were so much quicker defensively is because you can actually guard your own guy without worrying about guarding and helping some other guy that can't guard someone. He said last year you can make a case we had 2-3 guys you had to always be in help. He said that's why Miami couldn't get away because you guard him, I guard him, and we're good. And he said, and that speed really plays into Ryan's hands. Because now Ryan can really dedicate himself on ball pressure and getting up in the guys, and that's what he does the best.
Championships, they probably aren't won in October.
No.
But what aspects of preseason training camp do you think can translate to?
Well, all of it, really. They're not won in October, but you're starting to form that team in October, and the mindset, and that's really important. Especially this team is young. We got. Giannis, Miles, and Bobby as the voices, and then everybody else, Kuz is probably in the middle of that, and then everybody else is pretty young, and they really are looking to be led. Giannis is doing that. Miles has been, just off the charts. Again, you don't know a player until you coach a player. I don't remember seeing Miles talk a whole bunch, and yet, when I talked to Rick and everybody else, they said, no, he's the greatest leader, and he's been that. So that's good because I was concerned. Losing Brooke and all those guys is how we're going to, replace the leadership piece, and they've all done that.
And for those younger players who have a few years of experience, who are trying to find their voices in the locker room, what advice do you have for that young
to lead?
To become a leader?
Yeah, everybody has to be lead. Everyone has to lead, and everyone has to follow. That means you have a hell of a team. When the 15th guy on the team can tell Giannis and Miles, hey, you're not doing something, and they hear him, that means you have a connected basketball team.
Immediately post-game, you thought maybe some fatigue set in for Kyle with some of the moves into the paint. But after watching the clips or maybe going back, what, I guess, overall, especially off those defensive rebounds.
Yeah, I thought he played great overall. I actually thought he should have driven. I showed him there were 3 times where I thought he had a lane and he didn't take it. And I had, conversation asked, why wouldn't you take that? And, it wasn't a real reason why not. My guess is lungs. Or he saw something else, which he could have. So even today I blew the whistle twice because I thought he should have taken it. Go. And that's what I'm telling him.
Is that, we've talked about rim pressure with Kevin at times. Is that part of it for Kyle too, where if it's layups or threes, some of it is be forceful at
well, that's how you get threes, by getting to the rim, and then they help. You think about it. I don't know how many threes we took, but we had 17 corner threes or something like that. That's all dribble penetration against a very solid defensive team in Miami. More importantly, we had that without Giannis. So you throw Giannis in that, that's 5, 6, 8 more wide open threes, and that's a great thing for us.
It felt like, so maybe that's 8 in 17 minutes.
Yeah.
It felt like a number of those were on relocations.
Yes.
Movement.
Spacing.
What have you kind of given those guys as a directive?
We have a whole spacing plan for our team, and I thought if I was great and we got like a B-, but that's pretty good for a first game. That's what stood out to me is how organized we were for a first game. I personally was surprised by that.